Hello, hello.
Can you hear me?
Welcome. I can hear you good. Let me turn down your music. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, but I can't see myself.
Uh-oh. We got another one of those. Now, wait a minute. This happened the other day where she couldn't see me, but
Okay.
she could hear me. So you can't see. Can you see the screen at all?
I can see you, and
Okay.
there's underneath you is the black screen.
Okay, got
But
it. So you have an iPhone?
no, I have a who have I?
Okay, so turn your arrows to face you because that could be what's going on. So turn it around and
Mm,
how about
wait,
now?
1 second. 1 second. Nah, I got nothing.
Okay, so turn it back. It could be it's not because I see your screen, I see your television, and so turn it back around towards you again. What it could be is you may have not given access to Instagram for you to view.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
up to you if you want to go out and come back in and do that, or if you just want to go without.
All right. If everyone can see me, then it's good.
Everyone can
We'll
see
do it
us.
like this.
DJ High Volume said I can see both of y'all. So as long as you
Okay.
can hear me,
So
yeah.
I can hear you. I can see you. It's all good.
Okay, well, you look great, and thank you for coming on. Welcome to The Face Behind the Brand. I am your host, Monique Marie, and you
Thank you very much.
are the
I'm
wonderful
Adiisa.
Adiisa. So tell us about Adiisa.
Adiisa. Yeah, I'm a hip hop artist from Canada, from Vancouver Island. It's on the West Coast. I grew up basically as an island boy, near the water, near the nature, and yeah, I just make music because it frees my soul and helps me to elevate and feel good, basically.
Well, you make wonderful music, Adiisa.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, I want to give a shout out to my wonderful friend Anna, who made
Yes,
this connection possible, the Healer Hip Hop.
definitely.
Yes, as you know, Anna and I met about 4 years ago. We met virtually. She actually discovered my music over in Germany, and then she connected with me, and that's how we connected. So I thank
Okay,
God.
cool.
Yeah, I thank God that we've stayed in connection over the years. It's been since 2016. And we were talking about you during her interview, and immediately she sent a text to you, and then all of a sudden
Yeah,
we were DMing each other. So this is just amazing to me. So I thank
cool,
you again. Thank
cool.
you again. So talk to me
Thank
about
you.
your family, Adiisa, because I know your dad and your mom was very influential when it comes to, having various instruments around the house and music. So tell me more about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I mean, my mom, she listens to every type of music. She was always listening to like Outkast and all that type of stuff when I was growing up. And the first song that I can really remember is Miss Jackson by Outkast.
Oh my
So like
goodness.
since I was a kid, that's kind of like whenever that song comes on, we go crazy to that song together.
Yeah,
And
that's amazing.
yeah, I don't know. Like I said in my other interview, probably you heard and whatever Anna said,
Hmm.
my dad always had instruments, and I've kind of played the drums my whole life.
Hmm.
Took piano lessons, and eventually started making hip hop when I was about, I'd say like 12 or 13.
Mm.
Did a music maker onto my laptop, and then kind of just started making my own beats and everything,
Hmm.
writing lyrics, and yeah, and now I'm here.
And you're here and you're there in Germany. So talk to me about your transition from Canada to Germany.
Transition from Canada to Germany was pretty difficult at first because I couldn't speak any German. The
Mm.
culture is a lot different here,
Hmm.
and yeah, but I visited language school for a couple months when I first got here,
Hmm.
and that helped kind of give me the confidence to go out in public and talk a little bit more in German.
Hmm.
And I don't know, I kind of just slowly um, integrated myself into the culture.
Hmm.
And like
Now,
I said, it was difficult, but
how long have
now
you been there now?
I've been here since 2016, actually, so about the same amount of time as you and Anna know each other.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy. That's
yeah,
amazing. So to learn German that fast, I mean, because I think it would probably have taken me forever. So
yeah. It's not easy, definitely not easy, but every day I learn a little bit.
yeah.
I learn a little bit new,
So
new things.
how many languages do you speak, Adisa?
Just two, English and German.
Okay, so English and German. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So during that time, that you've been there, you've managed to release not one, but 2 EPs, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
True.
Well,
Yes.
two EPs. We have Traveler and For the
Yeah.
Culture. So let's talk about Traveler first. That was 2019. Talk about the process of that.
The process was of that. That was like when I first started making that EP. That was shortly after I finally made it back to Canada after 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so like a little bit of backstory before we get into that. It's like I came to Germany to play soccer. I play soccer as well.
Wow.
So I wanted to try to make it to the highest level possible.
Mm-hmm.
And really, when I came to Germany, it was more like a vacation.
Okay.
So I didn't actually expect to stay for as long as I did.
Mm.
And yeah, so I didn't bring any. I had like 2 weeks worth of clothes. I didn't have any of my music stuff. Nothing really nothing really from home. It was just me, my suitcase, and some soccer gear, basically. So after 2 years, I was able to make it back with my girlfriend. We made a trip back to Canada to surprise my family for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had 3 weeks to bring back everything that I had from home. And yeah, so I brought my laptop back, brought my microphone back, and then slowly started getting back into music. Because in that 2 years where I first came to Europe, I didn't make any music, I didn't write anything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was just kind of getting back into the flow and making beats, sampling stuff, and it kind of just happened.
Wow.
So I didn't really have a plan to make an EP, but it kind of just I just went with the flow basically.
Well, it's amazing. It's
Thank you.
very. I hear that you have like this melodic singing voice. You're a lyricist, so I mean, you're like a triple threat. and you're producing. So
Yes.
talk to me about the production of both of these EPs.
Production, it happens right here in my living room where I'm sitting right now. I don't have
Mm-hmm.
like a fancy studio. I don't have anything like that. I really
Mm-hmm.
just have a condenser microphone, my laptop, and the knowledge that I've acquired from various music production classes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And also self-learning from YouTube and stuff like that. So, I mean, maybe if people hear my music, they might think, okay, he has like a little bit of a studio or whatever, home studio, stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. But really, it's sitting here in the mornings with a coffee on the table, my
Mm-hmm.
laptop, and my microphone.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, well, we definitely feel the energy, and I think that's where a lot of nowadays, even pre-COVID, a lot of artists, independent artists, and some of the mainstream. I mean, I was watching a story about Billie Eilish, how same thing, her and her brother, right in the living room, created all of those sounds. So,
Yeah,
of course, even if you go to have somebody mix and master it or whatever for you, but it's just the whole point that when you hear, the way you hear very well and you're at home and you're in your natural space, I think that's where all the magic happens anyway.
definitely. I
So,
agree.
yeah.
Definitely.
Vices is another one. I love Vices, as you saw, I posted that one.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That is
Appreciate that.
incredible. An incredible sound, the lyrics, everything. So talk to me a little bit about the process of Vices and where that inspiration came from.
Vices was written directly after, I don't know if you listen to like Dreamville or J. Cole or any of those types of
Yes,
artists.
J. Cole.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So pretty much directly after they released the Revenge of the Dreamers album last year. Yeah, last year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was kind of just on YouTube looking for beats because my process, sometimes I make beats first and then write lyrics,
Mm-hmm.
or sometimes I'm just focusing on writing lyrics and then I'm just looking for beats from other people so I can have something to write to because I don't always
Mm-hmm.
have inspiration to make the beats. So I listened to the album from Dreamville and then was just searching Dreamville type beats on YouTube and I came across this beat that I use for Vices.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lyrics kind of just flowed and eventually it turned into the song that it is now.
Yeah, it's super dope. I like it a lot.
Much.
I've had it on repeat. I mean, I'm listening to For the Culture, of course, because everything that's going on right now,
Yeah.
in which I want to lead into that because For the Culture, of course, definitely has given inspiration, of course, to our people.
Yeah.
And then, of course, with the BLM movement and everything that has happened, of course, since March 2020, COVID, 19, and then of course the second pandemic reminder, which of course is racism. So talk to me about
Definitely.
For the Culture.
For the culture, it's kind of this. I don't know. It kind of started as the same process as Traveler. Like I didn't really have anything in mind when I was working on this, and to be honest, a lot of the verses are like I didn't write a lot of them fresh. It's like some old verses that I have, and I kind of added to them and fixed them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's kind of just I don't know. Basically, since the George Floyd incident,
Mm-hmm.
then I kind of like looked in my notebook to see what I have because I've always kind of written about these things to see what I have, added to some of those ideas, and then I don't know exactly when the idea came where I was gonna put all these songs together to make an EP, but yeah, really it's kind of just things that I've written in the past, things that I've or ideas that I've started now and kind of just put them together and it all kind of just fit. And I feel like when I write about racism and stuff like that, it's almost a timeless subject. So
Yeah.
even if they're verses that I've written a year ago or 2 years ago, they're still relevant today. So I didn't have much of a problem in that regard. But yeah, so some of the ideas are fresh and some of them are a little bit older, but it's
Yeah.
all relevant.
We'll talk about more of what's going on over there in Germany when it comes to the movement. Of course, the quarantine, and of course, yes, BLM.
Situation over here right now is regarding COVID. I guess it's getting a little bit better. People
Mm-hmm.
are outside. People are working again. We all have to wear masks. I guess that's pretty standard
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I don't know. I guess it's getting better as far as COVID goes. And as far as racism goes, we had, I think it was in March or February, at the beginning of the year, definitely, um, maybe like 50 kilometers away from where we live, there was a terrorist attack on a shisha bar,
Oh my
um,
goodness.
where I think 7 or 8 Turkish people were killed by a right wing extremist. So
Ridiculous.
I think people think that racism and everything only happens in America and stuff like that, and only against black people. But over here, it happens a lot also against Turkish people and Muslims and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
like it's alive here as well. And I feel like the media over here does a good job at hiding it and making themselves look good in that sense. But it's here as well. It's just a little bit maybe they just do a better job at hiding it.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because, right after the George Floyd protests had began, it was like you say, it was being filmed now, it's being filmed
Yeah.
more. So I think when that ignited, or what it ignited, was the movement across the country, because we did see more people in Paris, like coming out and feeling comfortable enough to speak out on,
Yeah.
like, yes, it's happening here too.
Definitely.
And I think it was probably, again, under the circumstances, it was unfortunately, but it was one of the greatest movements because of the
Yeah.
fact that everyone, like you said, every race, and that was coming together. And this is just a different generation. I don't think the white supremacists realize this is a whole different generation you're dealing with now.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
we're
I
not
agree.
from the 1800s, the 1920s. We're not having it. These kids are not having it.
Yeah.
And I think most of the people nowadays are not. I mean, I don't just have black friends. I have people in my family that are not just married to black people. I mean, it's not that way anymore. So I mean, we're all
Yeah.
supporting each other. So
Definitely.
love for all who have love for all. So tell me
Definitely.
about the visual, or can we expect a visual for culture?
I've been talking with some friends who have video cameras and all that good stuff. We've
Mm-hmm.
been trying to come up with some ideas, and to be honest, I'm not sure if I don't know because in
Right
today's
now,
the
yeah.
way that music goes these days, it's like for the culture is already a month old, so it's like
Mm-hmm.
my core audience they've already heard it and they're ready for something new. I feel like maybe I'm blind. I don't know, but I feel like okay, I got to start something new now and
Mm-hmm.
give the people more music. But I'm kind of toying with the idea of working on some visuals, definitely.
Yeah, well, I say take your time with it. I mean, because again, your music is like what you said, it's timeless, right? So
Yeah,
it's new to us. every time we hear it, when a person hears it for the first time, it's new. As an
True.
artist, yeah, it's like, oh, I wrote that like a year ago, but it's just like, no, to a person that's hearing it for the first time, like, look at me with Vices, like, it's 2019, but I'm rocking it every day. It's been on repeat for me every day.
True.
So
That's true.
and I'll give you another example. A mainstream superstar artist, Beyonce, when she released Already, it's so funny because that Lion King album released last year. So when she finally released the visuals this year, people are like, oh my God, have you heard that new song? And I'm like, I heard it last year. So I was rocking it last year is the whole point. And it's like, it's never, whenever you decide to come out with it, just, let us know. You come back on and we'll announce it or whatever you want to do.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Definitely support everything that you're doing. Talk to me about spirituality. I know you're a very spiritual person. You like to meditate, you like to go outdoors, and that's very, very similar to what I like to do. So talk to us about that.
Cool. Yeah. To be honest, I haven't meditated in a while. I got to get back on that, but I try to every day that I'm alive, every day that I go outside and interact with the world and the universe, I feel like I have to do my best to at least radiate positive energy out into the into the world, basically. Yeah. So whether I'm meditating or not, I feel like it's my job as a person on this planet to just try to affect the universe in a positive way, whether it's big or small. And yeah, I don't know. I try to just be the best version of me that I can and try to be better every day.
Yeah. Are you into my song? See, you have the song Affirmation. Are you into doing affirmations?
I'm getting into that, yeah. Trying to learn a little bit more about like the power of affirmations and everything like that. But yeah, I'm just learning every day, basically.
Yeah, well, I think you're doing it already because for one, you're a lyricist, so it's really much a lot of that. It's just kind of like what we just talked about is saying with the visuals. It goes back, and I always kind of go spiritual, so just bear with me, But biblically speaking, it's like calling things that aren't as though they are, right? So like if you say I don't feel good today, but it's the opposite. It's like I do feel good today. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or like I don't have a video yet. No, I do have a video. My visual is coming out in 2 weeks. So it's like it's speaking it into existence, pretty much.
True.
And that's what the affirmations are. That's why when I was listening to your video and you said you like to go to the top of the mountains and just sit there and just, it's beautiful, right? But it's like, that's the perfect place to do it because you could speak out, like you said, into the universe and just say everything that's opposite of what's not,
Definitely.
So,
that's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, I got to say, like, I'll talk about soccer for a minute, like, because I said I was trying to make it to the highest level possible. So I was always watching videos and stuff of other people who had made it and like inspirational videos and whatever. And I guess in a sense, I've already been learning about affirmations in the sense that like, if you want to be somewhere, if you want to have success, you have to first visualize yourself with the success and see yourself where you want to be. So I guess that's kind of the same.
It's exactly the same. I had Bizzle was on. He's an artist from Oakland here in California, and we were talking about that, and super talented. Another lyricist. And it was crazy because I was telling him, I'm like, every day, like I've probably received about 150,000 Grammys already. Like I literally walk myself up to my kitchen counter and receive a Grammy every other night. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the process and I speak it out, like, and I'm thanking all of you already, but it's just, somebody would think you're crazy if they saw you looking at you. But guess what? It's your moment. It's your thing. So whether it be, that for me, a Grammy, whether it's a home or whatever it is, it's easy to do it because we're so powerful,
Definitely.
We're very powerful. So yeah, I think you're already doing that, but I think, start doing it like when you're out there in the mountains, and I think you'll see a lot more. Definitely. So talk to me about some of the instruments you play.
Instruments, like I said before, I play drums, play piano, I mess around with the guitar. Basically, there's an instrument in the room and I have time and space to play with it, then I'll try to play with it. But as far as like actual musical education goes, I've only taken, no, I guess I've taken lessons for drums and piano, But yeah, guitar, like I just play around. I haven't taken any official lessons or whatever, but I try to play around with everything.
Yeah. Do you read music?
I can if I have to,
Yeah,
but I try to just let my soul speak when I play.
absolutely. Because I don't read a note at all. I don't read music. I would hope no one ever asks me to because I have no idea where to start.
Yeah, it's not my favorite thing. It's
Yeah,
nah, not for
it's
me.
crazy. It's crazy. So tell me, because everything's online. Everybody has access to you. Spotify, obviously YouTube. You're on Instagram, Apple. How do you feel that the internet has actually impacted the music business today?
I think that I don't know. I have two perspectives on it,
Yeah.
and I feel like for the independent artist,
Hmm.
it's impacted it like our how should I say it? I don't know. It's impacted us in a way that anyone can go get a microphone, a
Hmm.
laptop, and anyone can record and put something on YouTube. Anyone can even be put on Spotify. And I think in that sense, it's positive.
Hmm.
But I feel like there's also a lot of people who almost don't appreciate the music and like the music for the art aspect of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
In that way, the mainstream media and the way that, for example, rappers are portrayed, everyone just wants to have the image and the the positive sides of being a rapper, which is only what they see.
Hmm.
But I guess all in all, it's impacted the music industry in a pretty positive way because there's also a lot of independent artists who maybe aren't so famous,
Hmm.
but everyone has the entire internet at the tip of their fingers,
Hmm.
and you never know who you can come across or who will come across you at any moment. So I think overall it's pretty positive.
Yeah.
You just have to look. You have to be willing to look around and search a little bit for it. But there's a lot of good stuff out there.
Absolutely. Who are some of the artists that influence you?
uh,
I know you
like I
mentioned
said,
J. Cole, or
yeah,
but like some like
definitely.
any R&B or like total off the wall, like jazz or any contemporary
Yeah.
musicians.
Okay. I was thinking about this earlier because I knew you were gonna ask that. Um, I'll say like Marvin Gaye,
Oh,
Bootsy Collins,
yes.
um, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, like pretty much from every type of music.
Nice.
And not necessarily for the music, but artists like Michael Jackson or Prince, you can look at them. You don't
Hmm.
have to like their music, but if you look at their artistry and the way that they present themselves, the way that they dress,
Hmm.
I take inspiration from pretty much every type of music.
Hmm. What was the first album you purchased that you actually purchased your own album, your first album?
First album I purchased. Shit. Okay.
I was trying to
Um,
remember this myself the other day. I'm like, what was the first
I
CD,
don't
I
know.
should say?
First CD.
Hmm.
First CD that I ever purchased. The first one that comes to my head is The Recession by Young Jeezy, 2008.
Wow. I love Young Jeezy. He's
Yeah,
a lyricist too. Definitely a lyricist.
definitely, definitely. But I
Um,
also have a record. I have a record player at home. So like the first records that I bought was King Crimson,
mm,
um, their first record, and yeah, a couple other like prog rock
okay.
records.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're into music. That's good. That's where your
Yeah,
inspiration. Yeah, that's wonderful.
definitely.
Tell me about Traveler Creatives.
Childhood creatives. So that's an idea that I had, and I actually saw one of my boys. He joined the live right now.
Hmm.
Um, Basically, it's an idea that I had to bring different types of creatives onto one platform. So I have a website,
Hmm.
and you probably saw earlier the Instagram
Yes.
page.
Hmm.
Basically, the idea is to connect with all types of creatives, whether
Hmm.
they paint, whether they model, whether they sing, whatever, whatever their um, whatever their thing is. I basically just want to bring different types of independent creatives onto one platform and connect so that
Hmm.
they can connect with each other, basically. So that's like the main idea behind that.
Well, I think it's incredible. Yes, and yes, of course, you know, when I do my digging and research, I always try to find out as much as I can. But yeah, I thought that was incredible, and I went in a little deeper. So shout out to some of those artists. I think I saw what Val Varel. Am I saying that right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Marshall Rex and Diosa.
yeah.
I
My
just think
squad.
it's I think it's incredible because it's like you're all around the world, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And you're just, it's a movement. So I think it's pretty powerful. And of course, you know, they're all artists. So that whole right side of the brain thinking thing.
Yeah,
So that's
definitely.
pretty cool. Talk to me more about how important teamwork and support is to you when it comes to like what you're doing, the industry, and having people you can trust around you.
I think that's almost more important than any of the creative side in a
Mm-hmm.
sense, because I don't know, as I've been getting older and experiencing more things, I feel like just because you have people in your circle doesn't mean that they're going to be there for you. So I feel
Mm-hmm.
like, I mean, a lot of the people in the traveler group, I haven't met them personally, but there's just
Mm-hmm.
this energy that I feel when I talk to them.
Yeah.
And I know that there's some real ones. So like we have a WhatsApp group and everything, so like we share ideas and whatever when we're coming up with new songs. We ask, how does this sound? What can I change? And I feel like that's really, really important for creatives, especially because like I know for me personally, I could sit there, I could sit here in my living room with my ideas, and to someone else it could sound awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It could sound perfect. It could sound like I couldn't do anything better. But for
Mm-hmm.
me, if I sit here with no other input, like I could sit here the whole day and change little volumes and whatever to try to get the
Mm-hmm.
perfect sound that I'm looking for. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think that it's really important to get as many perspectives as you can, and from people you trust. That's just like invaluable.
Very invaluable. Yes, absolutely. And I also noticed, because I'm always, of course, into hair. Tell me about the Love Your Crown celebration.
Ah, yes. I started that one. I don't know, like last month maybe.
Hmm.
That was another idea that just came to me. Like,
Yeah.
and in the middle of all this racism and inequality stuff,
Hmm.
I really felt the need to like to kind of represent specifically Black people
Hmm.
because the media and like movies and everything portrays us. You know, if you have your hair braided and cornrows, you're a thug, and dreadlocks, and
Hmm.
I don't know, whatever. You know exactly what I mean.
Exactly.
And basically, what I wanted to do with that is I just wanted to find as many different people as I could with dreadlocks, with braids, people who wear do-rags on a regular basis, people who wrap their head, people
Hmm.
who basically who just wear their hair however they want.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to shed like a positive light on something that's really important to our culture
Hmm.
and really important to the individual uh, wearing their hair a certain way or wearing whatever on their head. So I feel like that's like a self-love initiative, basically.
I love it. Love your crown. I mean, it, you know, it speaks volumes. It speaks for itself, but for someone, of course, that has no clue, you know, and
Yeah.
specifically speaking to a person that's racist or just like, because I get people, there's my favorite style, and I think I see my cousin on here, Nisi. Shout out to Nisi does it. She
Shout out
does
to
it. She
Nisi.
does my hair. Basically, one of my favorite styles is feed-ins, and she does a superb job. Her and her mom are like big time, like with their hands. I think it's a gift. And
Yeah.
I was at a financial center working, and it was so funny because I was like, should I wear my hair like, I'm like, I'm gonna wear my, this is me, you know. But I had
Yeah.
feed-in cornrows like all the way down to my and
Okay.
it was so funny. They like did a double, like their eyes got all big, and it's crazy because it's like you like the culture, but you don't like us wearing the
Yeah.
culture, you
Yeah.
know. So it's just like I just rocked it. And I probably should have took them down. I rocked those feed-ins probably. I want to say like almost a month and a half. So they were ready to come out, but I'm like, no, I'm going to continue to bring my culture into this place, into this space,
Yeah.
because they, and I was the only, of course, Black person there. But it was just important for me to represent, you know, so I totally love what you're doing with that.
Thank
Um,
you.
you're very welcome. Are you into poetry or spoken word?
Definitely, yes. I
Yeah.
write my own poetry every now and then it normally turns into music. So I don't really release anything, but yeah, I dabble in it. But I listen to it. So I don't know, every now and then, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what type of, like, of course, pre-COVID, what was going on with the night scene over in Germany when it comes to like live spoken word or live performances and stuff like that?
To be honest, I haven't been to too many um, live events or anything, but there's a city probably like 20 kilometers or so away from me, and they have different types of like music and spoken word and poetry and stuff like that. I was trying to get there, but then COVID happened
I
and
know, I know.
it ruined everything basically.
Yeah. Well, besides COVID, of course, what would you say before, let's like not even think about COVID. What would you say some of the advantages and disadvantages are of being a musician overseas in Germany, international, period?
Mhm. I think that one advantage is that um, if I was to step on stage and do my music um, the way that I do it,
Mm-hmm.
I think that people would be a little bit shocked in the sense that I look a lot different than a lot of people over here who make hip hop music,
Mm-hmm.
and my style of music is also a lot different. So I feel like in that sense, it'd be an advantage because I'm kind of like the odd one out
Yeah.
that no one's ever seen before,
Mm-hmm.
or that people only see if Americans come over here or other, you know. Um, and maybe a disadvantage is if I want to collab with different artists, or not me necessarily, but if we want to collab with artists, then it may not be that they speak English good enough to write a song in English,
Mm-hmm.
and my German's not good enough to write songs in German. So in that sense, like I'm
Not
someone who
yet.
like
Not yet. It's not good enough
not
for you
yet,
yet.
yeah, maybe one day,
Yeah, tomorrow. No.
but yeah. But yeah, for me that's a disadvantage. I like to have my songs all kind of in one language,
Yeah.
and that's just me. I don't know.
Hmm.
But that's really the only disadvantage. Otherwise, it's all open.
Yeah. Well, I like that. I mean, because of course, with Hiller Hip Hop, your interview was all in German, right? So I could sit there and listen to it though for hours. I'm just like, the energy. Again, it's just with music. I had another German artist on here, Leanne, about a month ago. Same thing. It was a song in German, and I didn't know what she was saying, but
Yeah,
I felt it. And so that's how the system and understanding of energy is so real.
definitely.
So I think that's
Yeah.
beautiful. So what other artists, because you've collaborated with a lot of artists already, but what other artists would you like to collaborate with?
Oh, who I'd like to collaborate with. I
Yes.
have a couple over here who I'd like to set like a good foundation with.
Mm-hmm.
One of them being Juju Rogers. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
Mm-mm. Juju
He's
Rogers. Look him up.
yeah, he's mixed as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that I want to work with him is because um, he also released an album actually last year,
Mm-hmm.
which is also about racism. You can find that Juju Rogers on Spotify.
Okay.
It's definitely a good record to listen to. But the reason I want to work with him is because, like, as a mixed person, I feel like um, when I see other mixed people who are older than me, like a
Yeah.
generation or two older than me,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they kind of have paved the way in a
Absolutely.
sense. So I feel like it's the same with J. Cole. Like J. Cole, Juju Rogers, Lenny Kravitz, even like people
Mm-hmm.
like that. Those are all people who are just like me
Yeah.
that kind of on this or have been on the same path. So
Yeah.
it's kind of an inspiration for me. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Because there is a struggle to it, right? And of course, we don't know unless we ask, but if you are a mixed race, there can be struggles because as far as identifying,
yeah,
especially black, you're white, but which, and some people, oh, well, you're not light enough, or you're not light enough to be with the white folks, but then you're too light to be with the dark. It's just
yeah,
it can be, I'm sure, what's called, I guess ostracizing, right? When one is
yeah,
ostracized. So
definitely.
definitely a struggle, and I'm sure, of course, you're going to continue to inspire many people with your writing and some
I
of the
hope so.
music you put out behind that. So what would you say is the best advice you've been given so far?
Best advice that I've been given.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Probably I got to say from my parents and just like don't, I don't know, just be yourself, basically.
Hmm.
Really, that's the best advice because like everything is so trendy these days. Everything is like recyclable. One day it's in style, one day it's not. So really, like, just be comfortable being yourself, and that's really the best you can do.
Absolutely. In your own skin, right?
Yeah.
In your own skin. Well, do you see yourself, because you're pretty tall. You're a very handsome fella. You're tall. Do you see yourself
Thank you.
doing anything else in the entertainment industry? Modeling, fashion, this, it goes to so many different directions. So
Yeah. Um, my grandma actually has been on me about trying to like send some pictures in to be a model. So
hmm
kind of been in the back of my head a
hmm
little bit over the last little while. Sometimes I'm pretty lazy, so it's like shooting the pictures and getting them ready to send them. It's like I don't want to do that, but
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I could see myself in the next little while definitely getting into something like that, modeling or whatever,
How
fashion
tall are
stuff like that.
you?
I am 6'2".
Okay, so yeah, you're definitely, I mean, tall, and I'm not an agent or anything, but I'm like, well, he's tall enough to model. But
Yeah, my
again,
grandma says that. Yeah, everyone says
well, that's
that.
what I like too about the platforms, because people see each other and people, you don't know who's watching. And a lot of times, you may just have that look for, their campaign, or you might, have a look for what they're looking for the film. Because Tyler Perry does it all the time. He finds
Yeah,
some amazing artists who weren't looking to be, in a film. And then all of a sudden, they're headlining, so
definitely. Yeah.
I definitely can see that. So what do you do? What do you like to do outside of music? So when you're not doing anything that has to do with sound, what does Adiisa enjoy doing?
I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of I don't know, SpongeBob, Family Guy, stuff like that. I like to
Really?
go walking. I like to go bike riding every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
What else do I like to do? I don't know. Normal person stuff, I guess you could
Yeah,
say.
which is
Like,
natural, which is good, which is
yeah,
good.
yeah.
So
Like you
what's
said earlier, also, sorry, going up in the mountains. There's a mountain right
mm-hmm,
behind me, so and you can
mm-hmm,
see like the whole city once you go up there. It's like 15 minutes to get up there,
yeah,
and sometimes I just go up there and I sit for like
nice.
a couple hours. That's really what I do.
Wow. I like that. There's a place and I don't share my places a lot with people because they're mine. So I thought that was
Yeah,
very nice when you said the mountains, but we don't know which mountain, we don't know where. But I
yeah,
mean, because it's like, this is my hiding space, right? It's my spiritual place, and I think
definitely.
I go and find one that's probably about an hour from here, even. And it's
Hmm.
one of my favorite places because there's water, there's hiking, there's mountains, there's even like old
Nice.
military bungalows and stuff. I feel like it brings the kid in me out, but it
Yeah,
also, yeah, is a very spiritual space for me.
definitely.
So one of the mantras that that I connected with you, you said, connect to your higher power and let your soul do the rest. So
Hmm.
elaborate on that for us.
Connect to your higher power is basically just like doesn't matter what your religion is. Everyone has. I feel like everyone has some kind of higher power,
Mm-hmm.
and some people recognize that, some people don't. But for me, it's like I don't necessarily believe in a God, but I do believe in higher energy, higher power,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like once you really connect to that, that's kind of like I don't know. Connect to your higher power, let your soul do the rest. It's like once you connect to it, then your soul knows what to do already. You just got
Mm-hmm.
to find it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well,
Yeah,
he who is in you is greater than he who's in the world. So
true.
I will leave you with that. And because what's in us is exactly that. It's not a coincidence.
Yeah,
What we're doing right now is not coincidence. Anna linking us up. You just mentioned something I didn't know. You met her, or you moved there the
definitely.
same year I met her. So none of it's coincidence, right? It's not
Yeah,
science. It's not science. It's definitely something else driving everything. It's a divine intervention, I should say.
yeah, I
So
agree, 100%.
I definitely want to say, in closing, thank you so much for spending the time. I know it's almost 9 o'clock over there.
Something like that, yeah.
9 p.m. It's almost
Yeah.
lunchtime here. But you have some incredible sounds, the music you're doing. Leave us and tell us where we can find your music. And again, your website and your Instagram and Facebook handle.
All right. Instagram, I'm Adiisa, IMADIISA. Spotify, Adiisa, ADIISA. Yeah, Spotify, Apple Music, everything's the same. YouTube, I'm not actually on YouTube very frequently right now. But the website, travelercreativegroup.com, you can find Love Your Crown, the self-love initiative, Artist of the Month type stuff, all type of information on that website. And yeah, but mostly I'm active on Instagram. So
you got some wonderful people here following you, your folks. Is it
yeah,
Badass 3MX? That was a dope
yeah,
interview. DH
yeah, my
High
boy.
Volume. DH High Volume. He's on tomorrow. So tune in if you
Okay,
were able to. Dope interview,
definitely.
he also said. So, yes, thank you so much. I appreciate you, King, for
Right
coming
back at
on
you. Thank
and
you, thank you.
continue to do great things and stick with those affirmations, okay?
All right, sounds good.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Okay,
Okay,
thank you very
peace.
much.
Thank you.
Peace.